The singing is as if it were one gigantic orchestra of wild animal and plant sounds communicating with itself. Spirit of fire in the human heart, flame of humanity in the universe, alone yet at one with everything, let peace reign among humanity. Singing spells into the jungle night, jungle jumping, dancing, cutting palms, eat honey and intersexual digestion, streams of magical spells enchanted, with dreams like moons slithering light on the brown rippled river, sleeping tight. With my Nawa and Yaminawa friends, we chant and sing and engender spells to cure all that lives, spreading life in the mental jungle, everlasting bright. My own memory traces a part of the universe, pieces of thread in the cosmic lineament, spots within infinity, glimpses of eternity, mixing with all other things like molecules in soup, like individual plants within the vast Amazon jungle, like one insect stridulation in the gigantic symphony of Amazonia. And they mingle with the Yaminawa dreams of when they hunted without clothes and only bows and arrows, and they wandered from chakra to Chemperi chakra, and summoned the spirits as they still do now under ayahuasca, in the wild forest where huge coloured birds fly in the daytime, and where the moon burns silvery and white in quiet jungle light. My pen is on fire like Chodo chanting, the great curandero of the Yaminawa, who enters heights of intensity under ayahuasca that I recognize when the spirit takes me and whams me to the stars, and all the forces of words and music, and spirit and libido and spontaneous, insane creativity move you as if pulled by mountains, or rivers, or jaguars, or desires for a woman, in flames of powerful spiraled colour, flames of love and penetration, flames of desire to fly to the heavens, flames of desire to burst into other worlds. An atom of the eternal, whose own smile unfolds itself and knows itself divine, gleaming through all skies and tears or rain, turning to light all agony and pain, drenching all suffering with all-consuming love, discharging pity into every woeful cry, concerning itself for the wriggling worm or fly, as for the mind of genius, the mightiest in philosophy. Pleading for mercy, allowing sweet reason of the heart and soul of nature, and the cream of dreaming music, enter the miraculous, the sphere of immaculate dream, where the leaves and the grass are green in divine reality, where the hope in the hopping fish, flopping on jungle brown rivers of fast-flowing, speckling, rippling sheen, turns from rain to sun, pelting poetry of the soul's enantiodromia, eternal necessity. And where the moon burns inextinguishably beautiful, saturated in love, pelting with silvery beams of smiling moonshine, cool eternity, killing the sense with passion like perfume of wild petals, eating the night light in hunger of silent howl, in supernatural lust, eager in strange light of the waxing or burning moon, slither or burning round in reversal of music's flow, time revolving backwards as opposite perfume spells, tranced in bewitched dance. There are times when the divine force enters you suddenly and without announcement, and without any effort or technique of invitation needed. And then you are brimmed to overflowing in the divine honey of warm sweetness, and the power shoots you far above the earth, from where all can be seen dispassionately yet with passion, generously, lovingly, understandingly. Seeing into the interior core of love, and inspiration bubbles up within you like spiritual champagne, and you are high with the gods and close to God, in communion with the buried lamp that burns as the soul of the world. And my lifeblood pours red and hot, flowing along the valleys of spiritual thought, down through all the tributaries of pain and loss, into the grand river of my destiny, into the open sea of eternity. And the spirit of love burns in sweet harmony, and the flame of my crimson heart throws its gold into the abyss of darkness, the silent void of terror and cold eternity, shooting up the lights of liquid, smiling, painless bliss. Thrilled in the ecstasies and agonies of love, you fly to the ultimate mysteries, where all the structures of the mind and universe dissolve, and mad ecstasy takes over all perception, and convulsions and eruptions of joy and pain spear through the air like volcanic fire, sparks and crackling bursts of intense flame, pluming all labyrinths of music's mind, spurting to every intercategorical interstice in the universe, exploring unfit shadows within the laws of power, sounds between the notes of apparent music, delights and designs where the mind devoid of imagination's fire sees nothing at all, where the being empty of divine energy knows not the sparkling kisses of life, the overflowing gorgeous lips of love, the clasping embraces of sky and sea, sleeping in each other's arms unheedingly, laughing as one body and one divine mind, infinite, beautiful, in eternity.
Hear the voice of the Lord, who present, past, and future sees, whose ears have heard the holy word that walked among the ancient trees, calling the lovesick soul and weeping in the evening dew, that might control the starry pole and fallen light renew. O earth, return, arise from out dewy grass. Night is warm, and the morn rises from the slumberous mass. Turn away no more, why wilt thou turn away? The starry floor, the watery shore, is given thee till the break of day. These words of William Blake provide a very fit and apt link to the profusion of richness that Tim has given us. And this call of many of art to raise humankind, to raise nature, to heal the world, as it were, and to bridge the gaps. And especially as it came out in Tim's poetry as well, the male and female polarity. It is so much divorced in our times, and we have the dire need to reunite art and science. And the fact is that true poetry is also not confined to literature. It is part of life. It is life. And with this quote from Ivanov, we lead over to Basha's contribution. Also with this poem of Rilke, which exactly says what I think Basha is doing with her poetry. And everybody else here. The poet, he alone has united the world which vastly falls apart in everyone. In an unheard of way, he has certified or testified a beautiful, because he even celebrates what tortures him, he has infinitely purified the rules. And even that which destroys, even that becomes worked, a cosmos. When I was faced with the question, "Tell me, poet, what do you do?" at first I found it quite difficult to come up with an answer, because I don't find comfortable talking about my poetry overall and about myself. I like to do it through the poem. But I give myself some time and a little bit of space to think it over, and I returned with an answer, and the answer was that I do a real thing. I am in the real business of writing poetry. I am driven to do it. The next question that followed was, what inspires me? Where does my inspiration come from? And here the answer was life. From life itself, from its everydayness. Be it pink lip prints left on the edge of plastic cups, be it the smell of tart black coffee, be it a red autumn leaf in the shape of a heart, or be it a linen tablecloth, when unfolded, its creases making the shape of the cross. So all around me I'm inspired all the time, but on a kind of big volume scale, I've been inspired to write about 30 or so poems by paintings which were painted by my close friend, Lainey Christmas. And this kind of collaboration happens a lot in Open Circle. There's maybe poetry set to music, or paintings have been inspired by music or by poetry. And in this case, my friend painted this picture called Quake, when I looked at it and was inspired to write a poem. And the title of my poem is Each Night I Howl from Deep Within My Own Womb. I am Sisyphus, as the moon orbits to just above my forehead. There, at the peak, the boulder rolls away. I quake with rage, till I am melted by moonbeams. Scapula rigid no more, I howl till dawn, whence I am still, able in humble silence to accept, hunch my shoulders, and repeat the orbit, until no longer am I estranged from the unchangeable within. I'm also moved a lot by films. I'm quite a film freak, so I go to the cinema a lot. But there again, I suppose it's just repeating myself, because if a film is made well, then really what we're seeing is life itself on the screen, and it's just moments of life that are repeated on film, and we're just enjoying it with the eye. As for the poetry that I read myself, I love the Polish poets Grochowiak, Maj, Halina Poświatowska, and Father Pasher. And what I love in their poetry is that their poems leave an image in my mind, or memorable phrases. I love storytelling style poetry. For the poem on my first reading to come through with a real meaning, and for the poem to have one other meaning, if not many more layers of meanings underneath just the simple storytelling one. And for them to be, for me to be able to read them very easily. It's the story element in each poem that I am attracted to. And I think the reason for it is that I was brought up on storytelling. My mother would tell me stories at bedtime, and they weren't read out of a book. They were actually told just from the top of her mind, and later still was my grandfather that did this. And he would tell me war stories, just basically his life, that all the difficulties that he had gone through. Many stories would be repeated night after night, so it was the same story. And I think when you do that, there's a kind of a melody and a rhythm within it. So maybe that kind of repetition is what I'm attracted to. Yes. And as these things are, I'm going to choose an example, not from my Polish library, twofold reason, because my very favourite poets and some of my favourite poems of my favourite poets have not been translated.
and I wouldn't even dare to attempt to do so because I don't feel qualified enough. And the second reason for it is that just recently I was given a very beautiful poem by a Buddhist monk, Raikan. It was written by Raikan, that speaks of the kind of simplicity that I would like to go towards, and it's a good example of the kind of poetry that I'm attracted to. It has no title, and here's the poem. My hut lies in the middle of a dense forest. Every year the green ivy grows longer. No news of the affairs of men, only the occasional song of a woodcutter. The sun shines and I mend my robe. When the moon comes out, I read Buddhist poems. I have nothing to report, my friends. If you want to find the meaning, stop chasing after so many things. And to answer the question, tell me, poet, what do you do? I've written a very short poem to answer that one. It's titled, Tell me, poet, what do you do? I am constantly unfinished, and along the way I ink white pages awkwardly. And I would like to finish off with a longer poem of my own. It came to me one morning with no title, and I would just like you to kind of go along with me. A while back, there was this patch of earth. There were many people on it, getting on with their daily chores. The patch of earth, it was fenced off with a wooden fence, with barbed wire at the top of it. Now, some people didn't know about the fence, others had heard of it, but could not see it from where they stood. For the earth is round and they could not see anything beyond the curve. Others still happened to be standing right against it, so they thought they knew it and what it was. Now, out of those, many tried to jump the fence, but the barbed wire, it pierced their bodies right through. One athletic type jumped higher than anyone had before, scratching himself only a bit, that's all. But he wasn't out there for very long, even though he was extremely strong and ran extremely fast. The fence with its barbed wire caught up with him and fenced him off. So once more he was back with the rest of us. A time came when each time someone dared to jump the fence, not only were they fenced off at a later date, but the fence with its barbed wire began to square off this bit of ground. It made little fields. In some, there were quite a few people placed. In others, only one was made to stand. I have no idea how the fence with its barbed wire decided who stood where. Maybe it was just a random choice. Now, I was one of those that by now had a little square all to myself. I stood alone. You may be surprised, but life can still function in such squares. There's the rain, roots growing in the corner of a bit of earth, and I know that in those squares where there were more than one, there was fun had, for on many a nights I heard them laughing and singing till dawn. But with time, all the big fields were squared off into little ones, leaving a person in each one, leaving them standing there alone. I tried to look back, I tried to think why, but to this day I haven't figured it out. One day my barbed wire decided to take itself off the fence and began to coil itself around my body, from my toes to the top of my head. I wondered what had made it do that on that particular day. Was it me? Had I attracted it in some way, without knowing it? What if I had stood elsewhere? Would it have burrowed itself into the ground instead, or would it have found me anywhere? And now, what was I to do for it to uncoil itself and leave me alone? I rebelled at first, then I just accepted it. Later still, I had no thought at all about it all. But it seemed that it didn't matter who I was, what I thought. The barbed wire was going to stay right there, where it was, no matter what. You can imagine that things got really difficult, for any time I tried to move, my body would walk right through the barbed wire, and everywhere I went, it was there and there and there. With every movement I made, I gashed my face, pierced through my arms, my legs all slashed, my stomach, neck, shoulder blades cut, and cut anew each time I took a step. Let's just go back a bit in time to when my fence was down. The people around the other 4 squares, around the one that had been mine, had moved themselves into my patch of ground. Well, I didn't really mind, for now I could only move about an inch or so to either side. Oh, I messed myself up something awful when I moved now, but what was worse was that I would at the same time cut anyone I made an effort to get close to. You, and you, and you. So being smart, I thought if I stood absolutely still, I would not harm myself or anyone around me. This did work for a while. There was nothing but stillness. Till one day, early morn, the barbed wire began to make more of itself. It began to grow. But that's not all. It began to slither in, firstly through my eyes, then through my ears, then my nostrils and my mouth, and later still it just sort of sank in. It entered in. No, what is a person to do with barbed wire right through? It barbed wired itself all along my veins, all along my intestine. It had some trouble getting to my heart, but not for long. The ribcage was in the way, but it took care of that. It just ripped it out. The brain, it had been barbed wired a few days before, so it didn't even know it was barbed wired. So through the heart it went, the mess, the blood, bits of bone fell out, from great big gaps in the skin that had opened out. I forgot to say, at first I did try to fight it. I got a hold of it in my hands, pierced my palms right through, but I thought I held on to it, pulling it out of my own mouth. For a while it looked as if I could do it, but I would have had to keep on pulling. And when I was doing that, I did more damage than good. And anyway, as I pulled a bit out, more went in than went out. So I gave up. I just stood there, that's all. So back to where we were. Well, we're almost done, so I'll just tell the rest of it now. Skin decomposed, bones broke up, the blood just flowed into the mud. The barbed wire, it rusted away. It took it some time though, I think about 5 years or so. But then, what's time to a barbed wire? Anyway, all of it all went back into the ground. You may be wondering how it is with me that I can tell you all this. I mean after the event. You see. The fence with its barbed wire, all the jumping over it, all the squaring off of fields, the barbed wiring of me, the blood, the skin, the bones, the decomposing, the breaking up, the flowing in, the rusting away, all of it really. It's all the same. Absorbed, it's all one. It's that which I know, it's that which I am. This patch of earth. A while back there was this patch of earth. There were many people on it.
What I shall never know, I must make known. Where travellers never went is night amain. Dear disembodiment, through which is shown the shapes that come and go and turn again. Edwin Moore, that's one of the perfect words to echo, just poetry. And also Thomas Carlyle, to link up with Butter's story and her songs, where he speaks in the hero as poet. All speech, even the commonest speech, has something of song in it. Not a parish in the world, but has its parish accent. The rhythm or tune to which the people there sing what they have to say. Accent is a kind of chanting. All men have accents of their own, though they only notice that of others. Observe, too, how all passionate language becomes of itself song. All deep things are song. It seems somehow the very essence of us, song, as if all the rest were ruptures at home. The primal element in us, of us, and of all things. The Greeks fabled sphere harmonies. It was the feeling they had of the inner structure of nature, that the soul of all their utterances and voices was perfect music. Poetry, then, therefore, we call musical thought. A poet is he who thinks in that manner. At bottom, it turns still on the power of intellect. It is a man's sincerity and depths of vision that makes him a poet. See deep enough, and you see musically. The heart of nature being everywhere music, if you can only reach it. And these were Angst is poetry, the heart of nature, the music, the celebration, and the praise. Many poets see their task as praise. And here, at last, an introduction of the poem which lent the title to this evening, O Poet, Tell Me What You Do. And this is a poem by Rainer Maria Rilke, again, one of my favorite poets, German poet. And this is the bridge to Alistair's reflective and researching thoughts on his sources and resources of poetry, drama, generally. O poet, tell me, what do you do?
I praise.
But the deadly and the violent, how do you bear it? How do you accept it?
I praise.
But the nameless, the anonymous, how do you call upon it though?
I praise.
Where from did you take your right to be truthful in every costume, every mask?
I praise.
And how is it that a silence and a roaring, like star and storm, know you?
Because I praise. For me, poetry is a way in the Chinese sense of the Tao, T-A-O, Tao or Tao, which means the path or the way. And in this introduction to my poetry, I would like to give some examples of the ideas behind my inspiration to write poetry as part of my spiritual way, my path, my way of unfolding. For me, poetry is a way of treading life's path. Among the host of yogic disciplines, poetry is held the highest by the rishis and mahatmas, the holy ones of the ancient wisdom. I consider poetry a potentially sacred space in which exist opportunities to at least contact and at best realise one's higher self. A self spelt by mystics with a capital S. A capital because the self is one with all that is. It is the soul of the universe, the Godhead, Atma. Atma, a Sanskrit word classically used in Hindu Buddhism and modernistically by theosophists and anthroposophists, meaning the divine all, the totality of all things. Atma compares phonetically with the German word atmen, to breathe, and in reference to Anirudh's point that inspiration means to be breathed in, it is precisely an inbreathing by the divine all that I believe takes place in all authentic creativity. It is the will of the divine that all sentient life becomes conscious of its existence as manifestation of one eternal, supreme source of being. Annie Besant, social reformer and theosophist, in 1899 wrote, and hence the language sexisms, "The self is in you," quote, "the self is in you and in me, as much as the self is in Ishvara, that one eternal, unchanging, undecaying, whereof every manifested existence is but one ray of glory," unquote. Ishvara is the highest god in the Hindu scheme of the Hindu pantheon of gods. The one down from what the Upanishads refers to as the one about whom naught may be said, the unknowable or para-Brahman. And she goes on to say, quote, "Whether separated in the universe as Ishvara, or separated in the copy of the universe in man, There is but one without a second. There is no life but his, no independence but his, no self-existence but his, and from him gods and men all take their root and exist forever in and by his one eternal life. Unquote. Sorry about all those masculinisms.